Hey everyone, this is Gleb, and I want to show you a cool trick that modern HTML has for linking input elements and their labels. In this example, I have an input of type checkbox right here, and it has an ID accept. And I also have a label that says accept terms. That's the text you see right here. And this label is connected to the input by having a for attribute that just specifies the ID of the input element it's linked to. Here's the cool trick. If I look at the elements, right, and I go to the checkbox right here, and let me open the console. So the element that I have currently selected is available under $0. Okay, that's the DOM element. And it has a property called labels. And notice it has a single node inside this node list. It's an array, it's a node list. And if you look at this label element, it's precisely the label that's linked to the input element. Okay, if it's a normal property of a DOM element, we can use it from our Cypress tests. So we can say should have prop labels. And notice it succeeds, it does have it. Because it's a node list, we can get its first element, okay? And we can say, for example, should have text accept term. So whatever assertion you want to run to verify that that label is present. We can also use it to confirm that, for example, every input element on the page has a corresponding label. Previously, you could do something like this. You could have done get me all input elements, and for each input, you could get the ID. So this is jQuery object, so we can say attribute ID, and then we would need to find label with a for attribute. So you could say get, let's form it as a string template, label for quote, and then that ID. Right, that's what I would do. Usually, I would go through each input element, form the selector, and query the page. But now we can do a slightly different alternative, right? We can get each input, but instead we can directly get the labels. So this is jQuery. We can get the first object inside the jQuery, that's the element, and we can say labels, and we can say expect labels to have length, say greater than 0. Let's see if this syntax works. Yes. This is a little bit too verbose because it actually prints the labels. We can say labels maybe length to be greater than 0. And just to make sure that we know which input, we could say input attribute ID, and so print what the ID of the input element we are checking. Okay, so this is how you could use the built-in DOM element labels for each input element to quickly access the label linked to that input element.